It's almost time. The moment we've been waiting for. You're not wrong, Lucy. We've had an amazing show so far and a powerhouse of a main event coming up. That's right, tonight only, for the Tokyo Grand World Heavyweight title. The champion, Yua Steel Rose versus the challenger, Cobra's son. These two have been rivals since their arrival here at the Tokyo Grand Pro Wrestling. These two have put on slobber knockers before, but they've never fought for the title. The story begins as a man approaches Yua Steel Rose backstage. And by a man, I mean her husband. He embraces her, says she looks great. She asks where Lona is, and right on cue, she arrives. Yua gives Lona the mightiest of hugs, but Lona can still sense something was wrong. She asks, "Mom, what's the matter?" But her mom just looks at her, gives a deep pause, and tells her nothing. It's just, I'm fighting for you, I'm doing what I love, and it feels good. And in walks Uncle Blood. He says, "Hey kiddo, I got his front row seat, right at ringside." The two lovebirds just can't seem to stop romancing. There was just enough time for Jacob Steel Rose to say he had to work late tonight. And then we hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. Introducing first from Tokyo, Japan, the Iron Flower, the Unbreakable Blossom, the Tokyo Grand Heavyweight Champion of the world, Yua Steel Rose. Yua, you are minutes away from your 10th championship match. What is possibly going through your mind? Yua Steel Rose took the mic and explained, "When I started wrestling, it was my everything. Every day I trained, I fought, I trained again, and it consumes me. I wanted the glory and the fame, but then I became a mother. And now I don't fight for a belt. I fight for my family. I fight for my daughter. I fight for my lover. And I fight for all of you as well." Holding back tears, Uncle Blood says, "Your mother, she's just the best there is." And the challenger, the poisonous powerhouse, the high-flying scorcher, Cobra's son. Cut my music. And good, boo all you like. Unlike my opponent, I have no curtain over my eyes. She calls you your family? So sweet. That just isn't what this is about. Not what pro wrestling is about. It's not about the crowd. It's not about family. It's about power. And it's about that. And I'll be taking it from you. Alright folks, grab your popcorn. This match is set for one fall. Yua immediately starts on the offensive, putting her shin to chin. Lona cheers hard, engraving every move into memory. Steel Rose with the upper hand, but Cobra's son makes a comeback with a brutal spinning elbow. Yeah! Yua Steel Rose has been thrown out of the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Cobra's son is going for the top rope. Is he preparing for his move? Oh my goodness, it's electrifying. Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolute chaos. And Cobra's son has dragged Yua back into the ring. I believe this is it as he prepares for another diabolical move on the ropes. Haha, up we go, Steel Rose. Lona looks in horror as Uncle Blood comforts her. And he sees Cobra's son's leg begin to shake on the rope. No, please just... A rough landing for Yua Steel Rose as the ref checks on her. And at this time, Cobra's son is panicking, dropping the act and more so concerned for Yua. We've got an emergency match stoppage, folks. We're trying to figure out more. Please, stand by. Lona rips through the crowd to reach her mother, crying. This doesn't look good. Accidents happen in the ring, folks. It's an awful truth. But it is most certainly a real one. The mysterious man grins at the screen as a master plan begins to form. They wait at the hospital as Lona starts to reminisce a fond memory. The memory begins with Yua saying, no, it's time for sleep. And Lona says, all right, well, stay with me for a few minutes. And Yua agrees. She'll stay. Lona asks, Mom, where do we go after our life? She says, you mean dying? I guess so. She says, well, I don't really know. Somewhere far away, somewhere light, or warm maybe. It's all a big mystery. But don't you worry. I'm not going anywhere for a long time yet. And as those words echoed, Lorna looked at her father, and at first glance she knew the truth. She's gone, baby. Another brutal strike to Luna Steel Rose. She is taking a beating tonight. Going up, and she's hit with a falcon arrow. 1, 2, 3, and Lona kicks out of the pin. Lona shows tremendous heart. She dusts herself off and gives us a classic line. Is that all you got? Lona dodges a blow. She gets a hold of her, and she goes for a last-ditch attempt with the tangled thorns. But it's too little to no effect. Diamond Ring goes to the rope. She jumps. And the match is over. Backstage, Uncle Blood hands her a payment, and Lona stops her uncle, needing to ask a question. He cuts her off and he says, well, for starters, you're green. I mean, really green. And I can tell you haven't done this professionally. I'm not just talking about your backyard piece of plywood. This is the real deal. Lorna says, yeah, the real deal, and your family. So then why don't you just train me then? Uncle Blood says, listen, I wish I could help. I do. But, the way things happen, the way she... And Lorna says, what? Because what happened with my mom? You won't train me? And Uncle Blood says, no, but I made a promise. Lorna says, what kind? Hey, Lona. Lona states, Dad, I thought I told you not to come to my matches. He says, I know, I just thought we could talk for a minute. She storms off and says, no, I think we've talked enough. Lona shouts, is there anything you're going to say that will be different from our last talk? For the last time, I'm not going to quit wrestling. He states that she hasn't even found a trainer. And Lona states, yeah, because you've kept Uncle Blood from taking me on. And he said it was purely out of her own safety. She says, it's not just a wrestling, Dad. Ever since Mom, you've been different, isolated. The only time you really want to talk to me is when you want to jump down my throat about this. She states, this is my choice. I'm going all the way, and I'll show you and everybody. I'm a Steel Rose, just like Mom was, and I'm going to be just like her. And Jacob shouts, and if you keep going, you're going to end up like her too. We're done. A Luna Steel Rose. Hello, I ain't mean to frighten you. And who are you? Do you work for the promotion? Lona says. Not exactly. Look, I'm busy, so I'll see you at the show or something. I've been watching you for a long time. I don't know what kind of sleazy jerk you are, but I want no part of whatever. And maybe it'd be easier if I just show you. My name is Willard Necrotron. Welcome to the Baron Bastion, my castle and home. I'm a necromancer. I'm running a tournament of sorts, but a belt isn't the only prize. Lona, I'd like to talk to you about bringing your mom back to life.